Hello there. I'm so glad you decided to join the Elevate Your Values Summit and took the time to pop into this session with me. Participating in this virtual summit brings back some memories for me of those early days of the pandemic. Not that that's a time that any of us really want to re-explore, but it was a time when many of us were navigating the uncharted waters of virtual spaces and adjusting to remote work. And look at us now, taking part in virtual opportunities that allow us to connect from the comfort of wherever we choose. That makes me appreciate the positive aspects of change. So here we are, embracing the chance to connect, engage, and be inspired from the comfort of our own spaces. My name is Danielle Parson. Welcome to my space. I have a lot of titles: daughter, wife, mother, friend, commissioner, cousin, and proudly the founder of the remarkable organization PWN, Professional Women's Network. Founded in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2016, PWN nourishes women to excel in their personal and professional lives while being an active and positive influence in their communities. Our mission revolves around forging connections between women and their mentors and sponsors. We connect women to mentors and sponsors. Over the years, we've cultivated a warm and inclusive environment that spans physical boundaries, allowing women from various cities and states to connect more meaningfully. Annually, we bring together over 500 women, virtually and in person, through 6 diverse programming events. And as of 2023, we've proudly introduced a new addition to our network, professional coaching. Today, I wanted to give you a visual example of one of our incredible programs. So I hope you enjoy the virtual backdrop that we've provided for you. A question I frequently encounter when it comes to PWN is, how do you do it? Because like I told you, I wear a lot of hats. Well, there are a couple of very real answers to that question. Firstly, it's important for me to emphasize that I have a dedicated team by my side. A remarkable group of women who play a crucial role in keeping me on track and ensuring my projects stay aligned. So when faced with the question of how do you do it, that's the practical part of my response. What I believe holds even greater significance is the why behind it all, which is the root of today's session title, turning that chip on your shoulder into your why. You've likely heard people discuss their reasons, their driving forces, their whys. You've heard people talk about breaking generational curses or building generational wealth. And for many, it's also the aspiration to leave the world in a better state than they found it. We're all familiar with the countless list of different whys that motivate us to excel and make a difference. My why has a string of emotions attached to it. There's some anger, some selfishness, some resentment, and even a slight amount of privilege. For the past 23 years, I've embarked on each day with a chip on my shoulder. It's a chip that doesn't remain constant. Some days it looms large and imposing, while on others it dwindles to a mere speck. Yet without fail, it has been a steadfast companion throughout the 23 years. The origins of my chip that I carry with me every day are deeply rooted in a multitude of experiences and accomplishments. Over the course of my career, I've achieved success and accolades. I've expanded my horizons through travel. I've cultivated a robust professional network and created this great network we call PWN. I've had the privilege to speak at events like this one. I have a wonderful marriage, a loving home, and I've established an incredible life for myself and welcomed a daughter. These accomplishments are just some of the many victories that have shaped my journey, but I'm far from done. However, there's a significant aspect of my story that has played a defining role. For the past 23 years, I've done all those incredible things, have all those great memories that I just shared with you, and I've done them all without my mother. So I wake up every day with that chip on my shoulder. That chip is my why. Despite experiencing this profound loss at a young age, it took me quite some time to recognize it as a central driving force the essence of my why. It's not something that when it first happens, you expect that to be a driving force of anything besides anger, resentment, the things that I mentioned before. See, discovering and harnessing that core motivation isn't always a straightforward process. You have multiple chips on your shoulder. There's multiple chips in your life, but not all are equipped to fuel your overarching purpose. Some of these chips are simply sources of frustration, things that have just pissed you off, and that's perfectly okay. However, I'm talking about those enduring elements that possess the potential to propel you towards greatness. If you watched the most recent historic champion win of tennis sensation, Miss Coco Gauff, then you understand my enthusiasm in this topic. Let me first say, I love Coco. Not only do I enjoy watching her exceptional skills on the court, but I also take great joy in having my daughter witness her journey. What's truly remarkable about Coco is how at such a young age and on such a grand stage, she has mastered the art of advocating for herself. Following her win in early September, Coco graciously accepted her trophy and delivered a heartfelt message. And it included these words: "Thank you to the people who didn't believe in me. To those who thought they were putting water on my fire, you were really adding gas to it." It's a sentiment that resonates deeply, and it serves as a powerful reminder for all of us. Let your chips serve as the fuel that intensifies your determination and moves you forward. I'd like to discuss 3 key points with you today regarding the process of identifying your core motivation and harnessing it to drive your purpose. My first point, you have to give yourself time because the world won't. Culturally, we've often misconstrued the grieving process. And this goes beyond grief of just a loved one, or not just a loved one, but you know what I mean. This goes beyond grieving a loved one. I'm referring to any kind of loss, whether it's losing a job, it's experiencing a decrease in income, or ending a relationship. These moments of loss should serve as opportunities for rest, rejuvenation, and healing. If you ever watch the sitcom A Different World, there's a term that Whitley Gilbert uses that works well here. It should be a time to relax, relate, release. However, reality often takes a different course. Instead, these moments of loss can sometimes feel like a call to action. It's as if you're gearing up for battle. You tie your hair back, remove your earrings, you reach for the Vaseline. Loss becomes a time to suit up and prepare to soldier through the next chapter, to fight through the upcoming season. It's during this period that those chips begin to form. And it's not until things finally settle down, until you have a moment alone with your thoughts, that the full weight of reality hits you. And this might happen months after your initial loss. So here you are, months later, you find yourself with a chance to reflect and process what you've been through. By this time, you may be grappling with exhaustion, anger, resentment. At that juncture, that's when you unknowingly develop your own chip. The truth about life is life will keep on lifing. It keeps moving forward, regardless of your circumstances. Life will continue to present its challenges. There will be moments of heartache, whether in love or financial matters. There will still be rainy days when your spirit sags, bad hair days where there's not enough edge control anywhere that can support you, and days when your clothes just simply will not fit. Life just keeps on lifing. Here's where the concept of grace comes in. Life doesn't inherently bestow grace upon us. I just want you to let that sink in. Life does not bestow grace upon us. Where we find grace in life is from us, individuals. It's something we must extend to one another. Seek out those who offer grace. Surround yourself with them. Understand that giving yourself time is crucial because the world won't grant it. That transitions us to my next point. Assess the people around you. Ensure you have the right people there. When I started my PWN journey and shared my vision of creating a platform aimed at diversifying leadership opportunities while connecting leaders with mentors and sponsors, I encountered a range of reactions. Some people were incredibly supportive. They were like, I heard what you're trying to do and I love it. I've been looking for this. These were the women like myself who were seeking a space to discuss the challenges they faced in both their personal and professional lives while gaining insights from those who had walked similar paths. Their enthusiasm was what I needed. And then there were the naysayers, the individuals who insisted that similar initiatives were already in motion and that there was no room for PWN. It's worth noting that these naysayers were not part of my personal advisory board, nor were they my mentors or sponsors. Yet surprisingly, their no's seemed to echo louder in my mind than any yes I had received. Now, nearly 8 years later, with 6 successful programming events, 2 coaching cohorts, corporate sponsors, foundation support, and an exceptional board of directors, an outstanding leadership team, and opportunities like the one I'm sitting in today, I can say with unwavering certainty that I made the right decision. It all stemmed from leaning into the incredible team that I mentioned earlier and trusting those around me who consistently demonstrated their commitment to my best interests. I share this experience as a reminder that while my own motivation, my chip on my shoulder, is rooted in a personal loss, that isn't the case for everyone. Sometimes it's a matter of assessing the company that you keep. In the process of building my network, my perspective shifted in many ways. I encountered those naysayers. Now, when I say I encountered naysayers, it's because that's how I resonated with them at the time. They were the ones challenging my vision and opposing what I was working to build. So I took a step back to remember why I embarked on this journey in the first place and reflect. It was in those moments of reflection that I reclaimed my original purpose and refueled my passion for the work I was doing. Not too long ago, I was introduced to a quote. She remembered who she was and the game changed. This quote captures my journey with PWN. It does it so well, essentially because that's what happened when I pushed the naysayers out of my mind and took the time to remember myself. The game changed. I believe that this quote can take on many different meanings for different people. I encourage you to embrace it and use it as a reminder to ensure that you have the right people around you, the people that will motivate you and not deter you. Self-doubt can be a challenging opponent, but the key to shifting your chip to your why lies in granting yourself the grace to dream big and acknowledging that you deserve it. Surround yourself with individuals who do nothing but cheer you on, ensuring that you keep moving forward. And then the last thing I want to pose to you today. What is your chip? Take a closer look at your why. Is it merely a collection of lofty aspirations that appear impressive in theory? Or is it something more profound? Something deeply ingrained within you, resonating with profound emotions. To be precise, is it your true driving force, a source of inspiration that ignites your innermost potential? Consider those instances from your past that stirred a whirlwind of emotions within you. Recall those conversations that left you contemplating your identity, your significance, and the times when you found yourself surrounded by questionable company. Let these moments serve as your compass, guiding you towards the core of your purpose. Let those moments guide you to the chip behind your why. It took me some time to untangle the emotions tied to my core motivation and mold it into my driving purpose. Yet once I pinpointed it, everything seemed to fall in place. Even now, I still encounter numerous rejections. I still hear those no's. And I get the occasional doubter. But let me share how much quieter those negativities are within the confines of my mind. It's all thanks to that vital element that has been with me for 23 years, that chip, a source of determination that propels me to give my best each day. The essential factor is what keeps me on track to make my mother proud. While she may not be with me physically or present to witness my every endeavor, I am determined in the belief that in the spiritual realm, she gazes upon my achievements with a smile overflowing with pride. That, my friends, is my chip on my shoulder, one that I've skillfully transformed into a source of purpose and pride, my why. I encourage you to take the time to turn your chip into your why. Before we end our time together, I want to applaud you on taking time for yourself today. This summit has been a unique opportunity to invest in yourself, and I'm thrilled that you took part in it. I encourage you to stay connected with me and PWN, as there are more fantastic opportunities on the horizon, just like today's session. PWN's 8th annual Women's Empowerment Experience, Elevate Influence, Women Nourishing Excellence in Life and Community, is another great event for you to take part in. It's an extraordinary 2-day event featuring speakers from across the country, both virtually and in person. We host this empowering gathering in January, making the beginning of the new year powerful, marking it as a great way to kickstart the new year with the collective commitment to growth, empowerment, and community. I invite you to join us on January 20th and 21st for another chance to connect, engage, and be inspired. You can find all the great details and registration information on our website at prowomensnet.com. I hope to see you there as we continue this journey of growth and excellence together. It's important that you also have things around you that continue to fuel you, which is why this year PWN introduced our journal and tumbler with the quote, "She remembered who she was and the game changed." I told you that quote resonated with me. In fact, I have an example of the journal. I want you to have one. We made journals and tumblers with this quote on them. These items serve as tangible tokens, gently nudging you to appreciate the significance of giving yourself time, having great people around you, and turning your chip into your why. I want you to be able to gaze upon this inspiring quote each day, allowing these tools to spark and nurture the flames of your aspirations. I have 10 tumblers and 10 journals ready to give away. Securing one is very easy. Follow us on Instagram at Professional Women Network and send us a direct message with your name and shipping details. And that's it. We'll send it directly to you. We want you to help us pass this message and this quote around to keep women connected, engaged, and inspired for days and weeks and months and years to come. Once you receive your item, don't forget to snap a picture and tag us. Let's share this empowering message and continue to fuel the collective fire of ambition and determination. I have so enjoyed our time together. Thank you for listening.